As we move to item 2 of non-government business, Legalised Cannabis Referendum Bill 2024. The Honourable Sophia Mormont.
President, I move that a bill for an act to provide for a referendum on the question of legalising cannabis in specific circumstances and for related purposes be introduced and read a first time.
Members, the question is the bill be read a first time. All those of that opinion say aye.
Aye.
Aye. To the contrary say no. The ayes have it.
Legalised Cannabis Referendum Bill 2024, first reading.
The Honourable Sophia Mormont.
Thank you, President. I move that the bill be read a second time. The purpose of the Legalised Cannabis Referendum Bill 2024 is to provide for a referendum on the question of legalising cannabis in specific circumstances. The bill proposes that this referendum take place on the same day as the next state election, with the prescribed question, should cannabis be legalised in Western Australia to allow for home growth and adult personal use? Throughout the current Parliament, the Legalised Cannabis Party of Western Australia has consistently put forward a case for law reform, including proposing amendments to laws such as the Misuse of Drugs Act to allow for legalisation of grown cannabis for personal use and gifting. But the government has not responded favourably to these pledges. As the elected government of the people of Western Australia, the Cook administration must therefore believe that their constituents do not support cannabis legalisation for home growth. However, opinion surveys throughout the country have repeatedly shown that this is not the case. In recent years, support for legalisation of growing cannabis for personal use and gifting has been consistently rising. This is demonstrated by the Australian Government's own data as collected through the National Drug Strategy Household Survey, undertaken periodically by the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare. According to the NDSHS data, a vast and rising majority of Australians think that the possession of cannabis should not be a criminal offence. In 2010, 63% of people, 68.9% in WA, were of this opinion, increasing to 78%, including 76.9% in Western Australia in 2019 and 80% in 2022-2023. Given the gap between policy and evidence pertaining to the matter of the criminalisation of cannabis possession, the Cook government must be basing its policy in this area on different assumptions and data. This indicates some confusion, and therefore, to clarify the matter, it would be helpful to hold a referendum on the views of the people of Western Australia. A simple question added onto the election ballot asking whether electors are for or against the legalisation of cannabis possession would assist the next government to make an evidence-based policy decision to ensure that its governing decisions are in step with the will of the people. Pursuant to Standing Order 126, I advise that this bill is not a uniform legislation bill. It does not ratify or give effect to bilateral or multilateral intergovernmental agreement to which the government of the state is a party, nor does this bill, by reason of its subject matter, introduce a uniform scheme or uniform laws throughout the Commonwealth. I commend this bill to the House and table the explanatory memorandum.
An explanatory memorandum is tabled and debate on the bill stands adjourned.